All right, everybody, the time has finally come. Let's reassemble a VG30. So on my table here, I've got a number of my parts. A beautiful crankshaft centerpiece, which I will be so sad to lose. I should have really put some lights on it for Christmas, but you know, at this point, it's December 27th, so we're focusing on the next year and having a run-in Z31. So got everything cleaned here. As you saw in some other clips, we did some hot tanking and the stuff came out great. Came out a little dry looking, but definitely super clean. So I sprayed it with some WD-40 after everything came out to prevent any additional corrosion. Same thing on the roller rocker arms here. But first we're going to start out by installing the new valve springs. So it has all new valve seals already. The head is mostly clean. These were hot tanked at the machine shop, but as soon as I removed the cam, a little bit of oil came out. But just so I don't get any extra fibers or anything in there, I'm just gonna let it, let the, this little bit of grease ride. So I got these new Schneider valve springs. They're an upgraded set for the Z31 that match the new cam regrind that I have. So I've got a cheap little tool from Amazon that does the trick. It's not the best thing in the world. Not everything fits that well, but it got the valve springs off, so it should hopefully not have any problem getting the new ones in. So that's where we're going to start. Start with the valve springs. I'll keep you guys updated. Alright, passenger side head is done. Wasn't too difficult. Kind of a pain in the ass to keep these on straight, but got a little bit easier once Justin and I figured out the way to tag team it. So, we'll move on to the driver's side head. Quick note for any of you Z31 guys that are using the upgraded Schneider valve springs, you can use your stock retainers. You don't have to get any aftermarket retainers to be able to run them. They should be able to hold up and are still the right same size. After a bit of a pain doing it, we finally got all the valve springs in here on both sides. The tool got worse and worse as we were using it and trying to compress it. It was literally grinding off pieces of the metal. So a little bit of WD-40 did the trick, and got a couple of metal shavings, so I'll need to check that before installing the rest of the stuff. But I'll get that stuff cleaned out, but looks good. Step in the right direction, finally put a part back in. Finally. So I got a couple little alignment dowels I need to put in here. I got those soaking in some gunk right now to clean them up. And next up will be installing the cam. So I'll keep you guys updated as we're moving along. Alright y'all, another day working on the Z31 engine rebuild. So if you saw in the last clips, we just got the valve springs reinstalled. We got the old ones out and the new Schneider upgraded set in. So they were a little bit of a pain in the butt because of my tool, but the tool was cheap, but it got the job done, get the old ones out and the new ones in. So moving forward from here. So next on the list is to get the heads cleaned up a little bit. I ordered some lint-free cloth so I can really start focusing on the engine build here, making sure we don't get any foreign particles in as we're trying to install all of our new parts. So I'm going to mix up some degreaser and get kind of the little pockets of oil that are stuck in there, just so we have a really nice starting place for reinstalling my parts here. And then after that, we're going to work on getting the cams in. This is the bag they came in, but I did a Schneider regrind. It's a 270 intake, a 262 exhaust regrind. So I sent it out to them out in California, and they sent them back. Real nice job. But I could tell on the lobes, they all look really nice. So they did provide some actual assembly lube for installation here, direct from Schneider. So once we get everything cleaned up, we'll start branching into that piece. So it's going to be fun. All right, head's all cleaned up. got as much of that oil as I could. There were some crevices that were kind of difficult, but I was able to dab a little bit of that oil up. But looking really good. Nothing left from the lint-free cloth. It is as it is described, which you gotta love that. There's a few like little black marks and stuff that are gonna be like impossible to get out. But for the most part, stuff's looking really clean. So now I'm gonna work on prepping the camshaft. So I'm gonna get them all cleaned up and use the Schneider cam lube on the actual lobes as well as the journal surfaces and the distributor gear there. So I'm gonna get the camera set up and we'll time lapse that. Got one camshaft fully in. Everything is nice and greased. I do already have the actual bolt on the back side, but it's not all torqued up yet. I really need to get the actual cam gear on the front so I can do some in-play adjustment, and I need to install the seal in the front. Overall, it looks good. I haven't really tested spinning it much. Didn't want to put it under too much stress until I get it torqued. So, but looks good. Definitely very well lubricated, so it should be fine for startup. Parts are clean. We're going to go ahead and install the lifters into the lifter guide here. So where did my assembly lube go? There it is. We're going to be using the Style Lube from CRC. We're going to go ahead and coat all of our moving parts. So we'll do these and then the rocker arms once they get there. So we'll get the camera set up and get to work.
Alright, so now Carter is going to install the lifters and the, what was it called again?
The lifter guide.
Lifter guide.
Took a couple tries to figure it out, but yes, we're going to try to do this carefully because this is all grease now, but I don't...
Will they fall out? Oh, they will definitely fall out.
Are those the only shot glasses you have?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, no, that's
So what they recommend is putting wire around all of them,
Don't got any wire. You want to use some fiberless cloth? That was kind of a serious question. My life be like, oh, you lose the one.
damn, it's like when you grease it.
You don't have any old guitar strings or something? Alright. Jess is over here making buttery nipples. Oh, I think you got it. Are you still watching the boob YouTube video?
Oh my god.
I think that's in, right? So if you spin the cam, it should push those up, right? Yeah, it does. Oh, yeah, see, that one's not in yet. But now that the cam is up. Ah! That's in now. You see? Oh, yeah. It's probably stuck up. Yeah. There it goes. Hell yeah. That's pretty dope. Yep. Pretty dope.
Yeah. Alright, we'll do the other one the same way.
So we're gonna go. Dude,
Nope.
honestly,
Look at the side. Look at the side.
honestly, that looks awful, bro. Don't know if I can drink that. Don't know if I can, dude. It's supposed to float on top, isn't it?
Yeah. It is supposed to float on top.
Well, is the Bailey's old? Because it is not floating on top. Is Bailey's gonna curdle? It's still sinking. Dude.
The craziest part is, I've done this shot before.
Maybe the Bailey's is old?
Maybe the Bailey's is cold.
Oh, because the Bailey's is cold?
I don't know, but the side of the glass looks pretty cool when it goes down, but it looks like a fucking lava lamp.
That looks pretty gross, though, dude.
So we've got the lifters in place. It's time to start working on the rocker arms. So, like before, I want to get these cleaned up first before I install them and grease them. So I'm just going to work, take them apart real fast and then use the degreaser on them. So after that, we'll pop them in there and then we're pretty close to having the heads done. Finally, some progress. Alright, so we finally have basically all the pieces assembled into the head. So the rockers are installed, but they are not torqued down yet. So you do have to torque them in a sequence, basically, just because these shafts here, these rocker shafts, are very easy to bend. So I basically got to work my way from the edges to the middle, just torquing them in about 3 phases. So they don't hold a lot of torque. I think it's like 16 pounds, but pretty easy. Just need to be a little, conscientious of what I'm doing here. So, all right, let's get this done. Let's get these heads finally completed. All right. So after all that, we finally have all of the mechanical moving pieces in the head. So these are basically, other than these little back plates here, I need to find some new gaskets for these because they kind of went through the hot tank. So I don't really want to reuse those. My guess, they're not going to work quite as well as they once did. So if I can't find that, we probably use some black RTV or something just to seal that up from any oil escaping. But heads are effectively done at this point, other than some additional hardware. Obviously, I've got new stainless steel exhaust studs coming. I've already got them. And then I do need to get some new studs that actually go in here that mount the intake manifold. So I'll pick those up from the Z store. But yeah, at this point, I think we're ready to move on to the block.
Nice.
So we'll start working on that in the following weekend. We got to obviously assemble all the rotating assembly, but we've also got to paint the block. So a lot to look forward to there. I think that wraps it up for this one. So
Yeah, I think so.
like, comment, subscribe. Can't wait to show you more Z31 content and expect some very soon.